Persepolis is a fascinating tourist destination. Founded by Darius I in 518 BC, Persepolis was a capital of a huge empire. It was built on an immense half-artificial, half-natural terrace, where Darius created an impressive palace complex inspired by Mesopotamian models. The importance and quality of the monumental ruins makes this a unique tourist site. My name's Don, pictured here, and I visited the site in October 1975. Looking in at the front gate, notice that you do have to climb quite a few steps to get to the terrace. We look ahead of us at the hills. My overland trip for 6 months from Canada to Australia was for 3 months on a four-wheel drive type truck. And we camped right outside Persepolis. Persepolis took about 100 years to build, and it really only lasted a couple of hundred years because it was burned by Alexander the Great between 331 and 330 BC. The ruins were only recently studied during the 1930s. There's a great deal of information on Persepolis, and we'll just glance at some of the printed information that's readily available. And of course there's the websites as well. This book has been on the bestseller list and was one of 4, but I don't know if it's really about Persepolis per se. A good book dealing with the archaeology of Persepolis, seat of the Persian kings. Persepolis has managed to creep into modern culture. Here's a shoot-them-up computer game which is situated in Persepolis and shows the popular culture image. There's lots of tourist things that can be bought as well. A gold-plated plate featuring Persepolis. If you look at the website, you can get all the details. There's a lot more to it than we can cover in a brief movie. This website outlines the various Persian kings. Darius I, called the Great, Xerxes, the son, Artaxerxes I, and the 4th century BC, Artaxerxes II. I did honors history at university originally and did a honors Greek history course where I read Herodotus and studied the Persian Wars. It was fascinating. Persepolis, of course, is located in Iran, and we show you its location in the southern central part of Iran. The nearest city is a sizable one called Shiraz, with a jet airport, and it's about 30 to 50 miles to drive to Persepolis. The square on the left is the residential and tourist accommodation, while the big square to the right is Persepolis itself. A satellite view of Persepolis, unfortunately, is too big. However, there are aerial shots, and we'll take a look at them. Here you can see that Persepolis is on a terrace backed by mountains, and there's a substantial drop to the plain below. Another aerial photograph, this one from a different angle. You can see the terrace at the front, backed by the mountains at the back. There's not a great deal left after its destruction by Alexander the Great. All the buildings have been pretty well leveled to the ground, although a few pillars and arches remain. This map shows the layout, and unfortunately, to get the perspective right, I've had to invert it and turn it around. Now it looks the same as the aerial photograph, but you can see the terrace on the right. The mountain is at the back. This map outlines the names of the buildings. The audience hall is the very big building at the entrance. Mind you, not much of that remains. A few pillars. Now back to the aerial photograph, and you can see what it's like in fact, as opposed to the map. It's really hard to get your head around the different palaces, meeting places and buildings, particularly when not much is left, only tiny squares in the ground and a few marble slabs. Yet another map, and I've reoriented it to match the aerial photographs. There were lots of British adventurers visit Persepolis during the 1700s and again in the 1800s. You can see their names and the dates of their visits carved into the rock. Here's a view of Persepolis, I think probably done from the hills behind. Another early 19th century British engraving. Here's another 19th century British engraving, this one showing lions. I'm not quite sure the symbolism of the lions, but they do feature highly. More British engravings from the 19th century. They excited great fascination in gentlemen's magazines in England. This scene is, I think, Alexander the Great making the decision to burn Persepolis. Now we'll take a look at some photographs just to let you see what it's like close up. This is a wonderful wide-angle lens view of Persepolis, taken from the hills and looking down towards the main entrance and the terrace. It's the best view of the overall complex to appear in this movie. The question is, dear viewer, can you identify the different sections from the maps? It's a real challenge. This view is taken from the hills looking towards the terrace, taking in the right-hand side of the complex. This picture looks at the left-hand side. The large building is the museum.